Hi, my name is Shaz. Welcome to the Teacher Training Academy sponsored by gigglepots.com. Our aim is to provide short videos that show creative and innovative ways teachers can engage their students in the learning process. Our online video training is grounded on best practice in the classroom, so you can be sure that you're getting outstanding support for your teaching. We know teachers are busy people, so our videos are short and informative. You can watch them anywhere, and best of all, they're free. In each video, we look at a leading question that teachers often ask, and then offer practical solutions that can be integrated into the curriculum.
When you step into the classroom for the first time, don't just think you're setting up desks or putting out chairs. It's a community of learners. And in this community, you will have expectations that students and you decide on. When I started out teaching, I sat down and asked myself, what kind of learning community do I want? First of all, I wanted students who were engaged and excited to be there. The community of learners was going to be active and excited. Then I wanted my students to collaborate. Learning is social, so students need to work with one another. Lastly, my learning community, they were going to be high achievers. I have visited a lot of classrooms from Shanghai to Edinburgh, from New York to London, and there are 4 main types of classroom environments I often see. Let's start off with the Whirlwind. In this environment, there are no consistent expectations. Sometimes student behaviour is ignored, sometimes it's dealt with harshly. So students are confused with what the expectations are. There are low-level disruptions that affect learning for all students. The next environment I see a lot is the freeze. It is run on fear, and there's very little student input into creating a learning environment. There is no student-teacher relationship, so learning is limited. Then there's the storm. It's a bit like the whirlwind, but there is a lot of negativity in this learning environment. The teacher swings from being authoritarian to permissive, so students are frustrated and often angry. Both teacher and students have a negative attitude to each other. Not a lot of learning takes place in this environment. The climate in the classroom determines the quality of learning. Classroom management is not about keeping students quiet. It's not about control. As teachers, we have a responsibility to do 3 things. Have a positive relationship with students, have high expectations, and have a student-centered classroom. To have a positive relationship, you need to know your students. Often, teachers at the start of the school year set up the rules, they set up procedures, but they forget the most important aspect of teaching: to know your students. As students come into your classroom, greet them, say hi, ask how they are. Start the year off with a student survey. What interests your students? How do they learn best? All this information builds a relationship between you and the student. Get the parents involved, give them a survey about their child. The effective filter is the gateway for learning. If the student is anxious, angry, upset, this will stop learning. If the student is happy, excited, interested, then this will enhance learning. I can't stress enough. Take at least the first few weeks of school to get to know your students. Be interested in their interests. Keep a personal portfolio for each student. Finally, create community contracts together with your students. This is very different from the traditional "these are my rules" type of teacher. Ask students, what does a great classroom look like? What does it sound like? How does it feel? Display their ideas with your students. Choose 5 to 6 most important expectations for your learning community. Why? Because if students have developed the expectations, they belong to them. It's their own learning community, and they are more likely to follow the expectations than if they were imposed by the teacher.